We have a question from a sister in Spain. What can I do if I am Shia and my husband is Sunni? I don't want him to not want me to follow the path of the people of the house because he says I am lost. If I don't abandon this belief of being Shia, he wants to divorce me? How unfair. I am going through a very difficult time. And well, what does Islam say? Let's first look at the rule to see if it is permitted. We have many Islamic schools. Well, the most famous are 5. The Sunni schools, which are Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali, and the Shia school, which is practically one of the most famous. So we have 5 Islamic schools. Now, what do the scholars say? First, let's see what the Sunni scholars say. Some Sunni scholars considered marriage between certain followers of one school and another to be prohibited. For example, here you will see that, for instance, some Hanafi scholars prohibited giving a daughter to a Shafi'i man. Here you will see it is one of the books of Sunni jurisprudence by Zainuddin ibn Ibrahim in his book Al-Bahra'iq, volume 2, page 49, which says Sheikh Abu Hafs in Fawaidi states that it is not permitted for a person following the Hanafi school to allow their daughter to marry a Shafi'i man, but it is permitted for you as a Hanafi to marry a Shafi'i girl. It means you can take their daughter, but it is not permitted for you to give your daughter to them. You definitely marry their daughter, but do not allow their daughter. Do not let your daughter marry them. So, that is interesting. Why? Because in the book of Bazasiyeh, they said that the people of Shafi'i are like the people of the Holy Scripture. They are like Christians. Imagine the Sunnis explained it that way. Look, we who follow Abu Hanifa, the Hanafi, are the correct ones. Those who follow Shafi'i are the incorrect ones and are like Christians and Jews. As a Muslim, you can indeed marry a Christian or Jewish woman, but it is not permitted for a Jewish man or a Christian man to marry a Muslim girl in the same way. They took this rule, meaning they can marry the daughters of followers of other Islamic schools of thought and beliefs, but their daughters, however, were not permitted to marry others. That is a Shaz fatwa, which means not all Sunnis say the same thing, but it did exist. Now let's see what the Shia say about it. The Shia among them have no problem. The issue arises when there is a Sunni with a Shia. So let's see what the scholars say. From the ancient scholars to the modern scholars, almost all Shia scholars permit it. It is like a final conclusion that all Shia scholars generally agree on, indeed, the consensus of all Shia scholars, that a Shia boy can in fact marry a Sunni girl. And they explain it this way. Well, because a man is generally not going to be obligated to follow his wife, the woman, even if she is a very fervent Sunni, generally cannot force her husband or make his life difficult to stop being Shia. Therefore, the man can continue being Shia, while the woman follows the Sunnah without any problem. And there is no need for you to pressure your Sunni wife to convert to Shia. No, there is no need. Let her live her life very well. Then the great scholars like Soheb Yabuher, the author of the great book of Jurisprudence, Yabuher ul Kalon, in volume 22, page 338, state that only the Shia woman cannot marry a Sunni. When that Sunni man is so fanatical that he does not let you continue being Shia, why? Because that man is not a worthy man for you, because he does not allow you to have your religious freedom. Do you understand me? Other scholars, such as the great Sheikh Ansari, in his book Al-Makoseb, volume 3, page 592, say that perhaps we can state that it is indeed not permissible for a Shia girl to marry a Sunni man, which is indeed very much against us, according to some narrations that indicate this. But what we choose as a fatwa is that we do not consider it prohibited. Other scholars say the same thing. It means the maximum that exists. It does not say that it is prohibited. It says it is not recommended. Even more so, when the man is an enemy of the people of the house. In that case, it is prohibited to marry an enemy of the people of the house. However, if he is a normal Sunni, it is discouraged. Other scholars also say the same. When asked about the marriage to a Sunni man, does the authority Khamenei allow it? Indeed, Khamenei responds that if there is no fear of her being misled, there is no problem. What does this mean? That the Sunni man should not pressure the girl Shia to divert her towards the Sunni school, which we consider not to be a correct school. Today, Makoremi Shirazi was also asked if he allows a Shia girl to marry a Sunni man, and that Sunni man respects Imam Ali and everything related to the Shia, but does not believe in what I believe. Makorem advises that a Shia girl should not marry a Sunni man. Why? Because in the future their children will have contradictions, in the words of both dad and mom. When asked about it, the other great authority, Fazil Lankiruni, also says that it is better not to do it. Nuri Ahmedani states that there is a condition. They must be certain that the Sunni man fully respects the girl Shia and her beliefs. With that condition, it is permitted. However, if there is no certainty about this and the man does not guarantee it, then the girl cannot have religious freedom. Ayatollah Sistani, when asked, said, look, when there is a fear that a man wants to mislead or stray his wife, in this case it is not allowed. It is not allowed. Ayatollah Tabrizi says that if that Sunni man is not an enemy of the people of the house, because a person who is an enemy of the people of the house is a Nasibi, is a kafir, and is outside of Islam. One who hates Imam Ali is outside of Islam, is not a Muslim. If he is not a Muslim, then one cannot marry a person who is an unbeliever, who is a kafir. However, if the girl can indeed actually continue as Shia, she is allowed to marry that man. But if the man is her fanatic granddaughter who pressures the girl and wants to divert her, that marriage is not allowed. When another scholar, Ayatollah Gueromi, who is a student of Imam Khomeini, is asked why Sunni men are fanatical, he does not use that word because there is always a fear that she might lose her faith due to the pressure from her husband. It means in some way that some Sunnis are so Salafi, so fanatical, that they do not allow their wives freedom of religion. We do not allow this, although religiously it is not an annulled marriage, but we do not permit it. Hoytole Mazohiri states that we recommend that Shia men be allowed to marry Sunni girls, but because when a Shia woman marries a Sunni man, the Sunni man will usually pressure the girl, we do not recommend it. Otole Mohake Kabuli, another great scholar from Afghanistan, we advise against Shia's 2000 but when there is fear that the girl may lose her faith or that the man may pressure the girl, it is not allowed. Well, another scholar like Ayatollah Shahrudi finds it interesting to marry Wahhabis and not those who hate the people of the house, as they follow Ibn Hanbal. This is absolutely haram, prohibited. Those who hate the people of the house are impure. They are disbelievers. Who hates Imam Ali is like a follower of Ibn Taymiyyah who hated the people of the house. Those are Wahhabis who are enemies of the people of the house. They are the worst, and marriage with them is not allowed at all. But other Sunnis who love the people of the house find it very inadvisable, although it is not prohibited, But it is important to ensure that the man does not pressure the girl to convert to Sunni or to pray as a Sunni. In any case, the marriage must follow Shia norms, meaning that in the marriage, the Sunni man must accept Shia rituals, the form, recitation, and all of that. Well, that is the response from the scholars, which is quite clear. And the truth, dear brothers, is that we are going to see what generally happens in a family, especially among Sunnis. The books of Bukhari and Muslim are very patriarchal. For example, in the book of Bukhari, there is a narration from Ash'as ibn Qais that says, "One night I was at Omar's house, and suddenly I heard screams from Omar's wife who was crying out in pain. I left my room and saw that Mr. Omar ibn Khattab was beating his wife in a ruthless manner. When he saw me so surprised, Mr. Omar immediately invented a false narration, attributing to the Messenger of God that one should not ask a man why he is hitting his wife. Immediately, Mr. Omar ibn Khattab lied, saying that he had heard from the Messenger of God. Is that the lie? Omar heard when he saw this one, surprised by why you hit the poor thing at midnight. Are you crazy?" So Omar immediately had a gift for inventing narratives while listening to the Messenger of God. Isn't it said that a man is not asked why he hits his wife? Do whatever you want with your wife? What madness! Where did you get that from? So, because they consider some, or largely, because there is a lot of difference among Sunni scholars, this also needs to be taken into account. However, some Sunnis, like Bahavitas, are like other extremists. Yes, they are like that. And with them you should never get married. Why? Your life is sacred. Why give yourself to a man who is violent and considers violence as an allowed part of his faith? My God. My God. That is horrible. So we never recommend it, nor do we recommend it. And now what are we going to do? What are we going to do now? There is a man who pressures his wife saying, "I will divorce you or I will end you." Things like that. So let's see. From the beginning, that marriage had problems. That is to say, according to the fatwa of Shia scholars, you could not marry this Sunni Wahhabi who is pressuring you. What is the solution? Either that man stops doing it or you will get a divorce. Period. There is no other solution. You cannot give yourself to a man like that. Salafi, Baha'i, dangerous. Many of them are terrorists. Be careful. If you are left alone, it is better than living with a terrorist. For God's sake. Those fanatics are violent. Stay away from that. Getting divorced from such a fanatic is 1,000 times better. If a Christian converts to Islam, he is better than that Wahhabi. He is better. And trust in God. Trust in God. God is trustworthy. You cannot allow someone to come and impose their belief in Islam on you. We do not have that. If you marry a Jewish woman, Islamically, you do not have the right to force or pressure her to abandon her faith. Islamically, you do not have that right. Yes, you can speak with love and respect. If she likes to listen, if she says, "No, I don't want to listen to you," you cannot force your Jewish wife to change her religion. If you marry a Christian, Catholic, or whatever, you do not have the right to force her, pressure her, or coerce her to change her religion according to Islam. That is haram. It is prohibited. You do not have the right to do that. It is a matter of faith. It is a voluntary matter, sir. Stupid, violent, fanatical, listen to me. What you are doing is against Islam. Even if you marry a Sunni girl, you do not have the permission to force her to convert to Shia. You do not have that permission, Islamically speaking. If with your good conduct, perfect kind, and full of mercy, you attract her, and she then wants to investigate and of her own will wants to embrace Shia, welcome. But you do not have the right to say that. Many times it has happened to me that, for example, an Iranian came, wanted to marry a Catholic girl, and the man insisted that she must convert for the sake of God. So I asked the man why he insists so much. It's not that it's a disgrace for me to marry a Catholic girl. Where did you get this idea from? When you can marry a Muslim girl, go look for a Muslim girl. But now, if you want to marry that Catholic lady, you do not have the right to pressure her. Respect her. Respect her. Only what we have in Islam, which does not allow the consumption of alcohol, pork, or blood, is what is prohibited in our home. A Muslim household has its rituals regarding how to eat certain things. So for a Catholic, there is not much discomfort. In eating halal meat, it is not a problem for them and does not pressure them against their will. However, we do prohibit alcohol. That is the only condition. If you cannot allow your wife to drink, then a Catholic, Christian, or Jewish girl marrying a Muslim has only one condition. She will not eat pork or drink alcohol. Nothing more. Even you cannot demand that she wears the Islamic veil. As a Muslim, you cannot impose on your girl to wear the Islamic veil. Yes, you can demand that she does not go uncovered in an indecent manner. No. She should dress in a modest Catholic manner. But you cannot demand that she wear the veil, the chador, or, I don't know, an Islamic headscarf. No, you cannot demand it. Although it is better, but you cannot demand it. You cannot force her. It is a matter of faith. It is a matter of conviction, not of strength. Those crazy fanatics, Yusan, believe so much in the expansion of Islam by the sword, a historical falsehood of the Umayyad assassins and the Abbasid assassins and those murderous caliphs, and they want to impose it on the world. We do want to expand Islam, but by conquering hearts, not by conquering lands or bodies. Islam will be conquered, but hearts, through intellect, love, and the good example we are setting, not with the madness of those cursed fanatics. That is why we say the worst enemies of Islam are those Baha'is, these thick-headed individuals who think they can expand Islam through violence. They are the worst enemies of God. You send. If the very enemy, the devil, is present, he will ask nothing more than this, because you are setting the worst example of Islam and Muslims. And our only word is that God frees Islam from these crazy, violent fanatics. Amen. Peace be upon you and the mercy and blessings of God. May the peace and blessing of God be with all of you.